You guys, thank you so much for watching. Nessa, thank you for being here.
Of course.
This is the part of the show where we talk about mental health. And Nessa and I were talking a little bit before this, and we're talking about anxiety and other, mental health challenges that, we both go through, and I know that a lot of other people do. And Nessa, I'm going to let her kind of give her story a little bit, but something that she wants to talk about, which I think is going to be a really nice and important conversation, is about bipolar disorder. So
Yes. Well, I am diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder, and I feel like it's like kind of something that's just not like,
talked about as much.
Yeah, no, like there's just like no like education around it. I know like I get questioned a lot about it, and it's just like kind of a different thing. But I do have anxiety disorder and bipolar 2. I was diagnosed with depression, but it was a misdiagnosis, and I had to suffer with taking antidepressants for like 2 years when I didn't even have depression. So that just caused like so much. But yeah, bipolar 2 is a mental health disorder where you kind of like get stuck in your lows for about like 4 days or more, and then you kind of get like a manic stage where like you're kind of more like energetic, all about like your work ethic, and you just like feel better. You do a lot of shopping.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, like you want to like hang out like with friends, like say like take a lot of pictures, but then like when you get in those lows, you just want to like stay in bed and
it lasts for days, not just like...
Yeah.
Because when I think of bipolar, I think of like, being in a great mood and then all of a sudden something happening and being in a horrible mood and then back to a great mood.
No, yeah, and that's like why I never thought that I had it, because I was like, oh, like you kind of get this like stereotype that bipolar disorder is like something where like it's like a switch, like you're fine and then like the next second you're not, when it's not that. Like you have to kind of deal with those like highs and lows for like a day's like period, and it's like...
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it gets hard.
Well, I mean, it's good to know because there's so many, there's so much conversation about that baby. That's Nessa's puppy barking. It's all
baby,
good.
chicken.
A lot of the conversations that I've had in previous episodes are about, like anxiety and we did one on depression, and we do a lot of stuff that I feel like is talked about more. Mm-hmm. So I'm just excited that we get to talk about something that like I don't really know too much about.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's incredible that you are aware of this, and then I'm sure now once you get into these like lows or you're in these highs, you at least know, because I feel like some of the hardest parts of suffering with any mental health, whether it be, again, anxiety or depression or anything, like the hardest part is not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And so at least, the fact that you know and you understand where you are and understand like what's going on, that's got to be a huge, huge help.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, like, I was misdiagnosed with depression for so long, and it just got to the point where I was given like all these medications and going through all these therapy and giving like all these techniques to deal with it, but nothing was helping. And like in my head, I was like, oh my God, like, am I crazy? Like, is there something like actually like wrong with me? And that drives you into like a deeper state that just like makes you just go somewhere that you don't really want to go. And like with bipolar 2, that's kind of it's more of like the depressive side of bipolar, like in your lows, like it's really taken as like depression. So like you get like into like you get depressed for like weeks, like a few days, and then like you just like out of like nowhere, maybe like you just wake up one morning and you're fine. But I'm telling you, like I'd like cry for no reason. I get upset for no reason. You just get these crazy thoughts in your head for no reason. You take everything negatively, and it's hard when people don't really understand around you, and they're just kind of like, why are you so negative? Like why are you like overreacting? Like why are you crying out of nowhere? Like what is, like, I get questions like all the time, like what's wrong with you?
You get a lot of like, do a lot of your emotions get set because of things that happen on social media and stuff that you see? Because I know that you are in 10 times more of a spotlight than I currently am.
Yeah.
And like, I even see things that'll put me in moods. And I know that, again, we talked a little bit earlier, and there's a lot of things that I even see and do things that people say about you or on posts of you and stuff like get to you and trigger those, like those lows or those highs?
Oh yeah, of course. It's kind of crazy because like I just feel like I have like two different perspectives when I'm going through my lows and going through my highs. So like when I'm fine, I just kind of see those comments and I'm like, they don't really know me, so I don't really like blame them. Like like I'm just like, they don't know me, they don't really know what they're talking about, and I just kind of take it as that. But when I'm at my lows, I am like, they're right.
They take control.
Yeah, like I'm just like, that's it. Like that's the answer. Just see everything in that. Like one comment just becomes like the entire world. And I just like fall into that. And then once I get into like seeing one comment, I go looking for more negative ones. Yes. It just makes me like,
that's the downfall. That's the spiral. That's like the worst thing.
And it's terrible. And like you kind of start to believe it and you get like these terrible thoughts in your head. Like I'm telling you, like there was like one time where I was hated so much to the point where people would comment like telling me like, oh, like I hope like you swallow pills, like I hope like you kill yourself. Like I was told every day for a good month to die, that no one wanted me on this earth, that I was a waste of space, that people wished like upon my death. And when your head starts getting at like, I'm telling you, like thousands, millions of comments reading that, and you start to believe it, and it brings you in like such a low like spot, and it's hard to handle. But I'm sure it's different. Like it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I think like my mental health has probably affected it. Like it got affected by it more, Like the comments and those things affected your mental health more? Or knowing of your mental health like helped you see those comments as not true, or? I think, I wrote that wrong. I don't even know what I'm saying.
It's okay. It's all part of the conversation. This is real, as real as it gets.
I know. Okay.
So
I'm trying to say that my mental health made it worse, if that makes sense. Like dealing with it, it was just harder. Like because I already had those thoughts kind of in my head, but when you see thousands and almost like millions of people believing what like your darkest thoughts believe, then that's what affects it,
And the power. Like, this is something that is so underestimated and undervalued, is the amount of power that people... Because all the time people say, like, don't read those comments, they don't mean anything. But the amount of power that people have behind a phone screen is insane. And when you look at people like Nessa, if you were to go, on TikTok or Instagram or anywhere, like, there's these fronts of, like, oh, she looks like she lives an awesome, perfect life. Like, what could she be upset about? I'm going to comment, something that isn't that nice and not think twice about it. But realistically, we're all, at the end of the day, we're all humans and we're all people, and we all have these emotions that are like hidden behind what the front is that people see. So those comments they're damaging, and they're real. They're not just words at that point. When you have something else going on, they're like, another dagger to the heart. Like they're real, and
it's cyberbullying, and that's like an actual thing. Like I'm pretty sure that's like illegal. I'm pretty sure you could.
It's a law, folks.
I think it's like actually bad to cyberbully, but I don't know.
It's bad.
I think honestly, like I mean, like I think I've gotten past it right now, but like it does affect someone a lot. And when you kind of like think that you know someone based on social media, it's like terrible. Like that's a terrible assumption, because that's not the full picture at all. Like you have no idea. Like I've dealt with mental health since I was 6, and no one knows that. They think that I've gotten depressed because of my hate, but it's like I've been dealing with it, and on top, it just added to it. And it's crazy because everyone, like, they just see like your face, they see you smiling, and they think that you're fine, but like no one, they see like 15 seconds out of your whole day. It's like
you can't get to know someone on that deeper level. But that's why it's important, and why I'm so like happy that we're doing this show, is because this is, I guarantee you, as whoever's watching this right now, I guarantee you're hearing parts of Nessa that you didn't even know, really were there. And so I'm just so happy that we get to do this.
Yeah.
And there's something that I want to tap into a little bit that we talked about before the cameras were on. But basically, how when you get into these lows, like you won't post, and then you'll get into these highs and you'll post like 5 videos because you're in an up and you're having a good time and you're feeling happy about yourself, and then you'll go quiet and dark for days, and people don't really understand why. So I want
I mean, like, I get comments all the time, like, saying how, like, I'm inactive sometimes, or like I'm super active on my social media, like, another times, and it's like hard for like the average like supporter to just like see that and just be like, oh, like, she's probably just busy or stuff. But it's, if you like look at it, I would, like, when I'm going through like my highs, like, I get super confident, I'm in a great mood, I'm very like energized, and I do like to post quite a lot because I'm like kind of like feeling myself.
Of course,
like,
of course,
like so high up there.
That's when we post.
Yes.
When we want to, when we feel good.
So like I'll post like 3 TikToks like one day, and then say like, or like even like for a week, I'll be so active that week, and then like the next week or like the next day, I'm just like, I don't post, or I post like a sad TikTok, and like I don't post like after that, and it's like. It's just because I fell in my lows again, and I have no time for anything. I think literally all I've been doing when I'm in my lows right now is just staying at home and just diving into music, because that's the only thing that makes me feel better at this point.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah, and that's another really important thing, is like finding the parts that help you in those moments. Like, I know you're an artist, I'm an artist. Like, music is the foundation of my life. Like, when I'm feeling horrible, like having the worst day ever, music is what, I wouldn't even say makes me feel better, because sometimes when I'm sad, I like to listen to sad music, but it makes me feel real. Like, it makes me feel like I'm in the moment. This is like, it's okay, and this is, I'll listen to a song that's telling me lyrics that I'm basically feeling, and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to feel, and this is how I feel.
No, it's honestly like a way to let everything out, you know, like your emotions, like you're out, and I know a lot of people, including myself, kind of struggle when they're not feeling the best and they hold everything in, and that makes it worse. It's like you're just filling up like a sink and like waiting for it to like overflow one day. And it's like music is just like kind of like an escape, and you can just be yourself, no matter if it's like the bad part of yourself or the good part, and you can just let everything out and then feel great. And that's what's crazy, because I've been going to therapy for years and talking to different like psychiatrists and therapists, and nothing helped. But as soon as like I found that one thing, which was music, it was like game changer. I was like, that's it.
Yeah, game changer. Well, on that note, this is a perfect, easy transition right here. Ready? On that note, music coming right now. I'm going to be singing a song called Not Even in My Dreams. And then after me, Nessa's going to close the show with her brand new single called
If You Love Me.
Ooh, it's coming out, or it is out. The song's out.
It's out.
Okay, so go stream it. You're about to perform it. Thank you for doing this again.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad they get to hear it. So.
This is great.